Aye.
Director Feldman,
Here.
Director Mueller,
Here.
Vice President Reynolds,
Here.
President Michelson.
Here. Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, moving to public comment. I have two speaker slips. If you care to address the board on non-agenda items, now would be the time. And Virginia, please.
Thank you. Good evening, directors. My name is Virginia Kalali, and I have the pleasure, privilege, and the honor of serving on both the San Mateo County Harbor Board of Commissioners and the Menlo Park Fire Protection District Board of Directors. I'm also one of the two special district representatives for San Mateo County LAFCO, and I just wanted to introduce myself to you because I don't think I've been to one of your meetings, but I know I know John, Farmer John, and I've heard about all of y'all. So I just wanted to say good evening and hi. And if you have any questions or any concerns about any of the LAFCO issues, you can contact me. I probably can't even talk about that now since it's not on the agenda. But what I do want to say is that there is a meeting or there has been an issue about Article 34 of the California Constitution, which deals with housing. And it's been a local issue at the Board of Supervisors. And they have asked for input from city councils. And I am encouraging special districts that provide an essential service like water, sewer, and fire to chime in on that, on whether or not the community should provide input for any new development. And so I'm going to be putting this forth to one of my fire board agendas, just because I think that fire, water, and sewer are essential services that will affect development or can affect the quality of life for residents. So I just wanted to just put that out there so that you're aware. If your board would like to chime in on that, there's that opportunity. So
Thank you very much.
thank you.
I don't think we can really do a two-way dialogue so much. Oh, okay.
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 I'm sitting down now, right?
Yeah, we just have to be careful. So
Yeah, no, I get it.
Nothing's.
Yeah.
Nice. Catherine, is this a non-agenda item?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I am Catherine Slater Carter. I have the honor of serving on the Coastside of Montero Water and Sanitary District, the SAM Plant Board, and the Harbor District. And I have just recently been elected to the CSDA statewide board and as the alternate to San Mateo County LAFCO. And I'm doing all of this. I don't know why. No, I'm doing it because I believe special districts like yours and mine are the heart and soul, not only of the community, but of the essential services of a community like water and sewer. And as you know, I'm from Montero, so sidewalks are not a big deal in some communities. In fact, this effort on the part of the state and county would stop input from local special districts, particularly on these bigger low-income projects. We all know that water is an issue here on the coast. Sewer capacity is fine during dry weather, but runoff and the problems we've had at the sand plant are something that we need to keep an eye on too. And so I'm encouraging all the special districts to stand up to protect our rights to get comments in on water supply and stormwater runoff. You guys are affected by that too, and sewers. And there are many other things that are being ignored by the state and the county that are essentials for community, things like parks, roads, traffic. We all have a good list of what's going on here. And so I think it's important for special districts to stand up on this. I'm also on the local San Mateo County Special District Board, and so you'll be getting notes when we're having meetings. We're still working on the organizational details, and it had somewhat fallen apart for a while, so we're trying to get our bank accounts straightened out and that kind of thing. But we will be having regular meetings quarterly in the not too distant future. So, and the other thing I do want to say is the staff from MWSG and CCWD are working so well together and training each other so well. And it's nice to have a unified water and crew sense of the Coastside, because we're a long ways from any help. And it's nice when we can help each other out in some of these situations. So thank you to the board for backing your staff on getting together on safety training and all those other kinds of trainings that need to be done. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you, and I will let you know about stuff that's going on legislatively, in particular, the statewide and local level. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, moving on to consent calendar. Director Coverdale, you
I reviewed the payables. I found them to be all in order. I was surprised to see that this last month we spent almost $7 million, which is, it's got to be a record for a monthly.
They had
expense.
3 payments from funds. Yeah, farm investments,
Yeah, it's just
700.
nice to see that kind of cash flow
Yeah, yeah.
coming out and
Yeah,
clearing the bank,
Yeah.
not just being written, but cash.
Always good to be in good financial.
Thanks. Please expedite the Eelgrass transfer.
We're trying to.
We're working on it.
Thank you. Thank you.
As you know, it's been the state bureaucracy that has.
I don't think it's you guys. I just,
We're not on the agenda.
okay, let's,
But we'd
Not
be
a
happy,
agenda,
we'd be
but-
happy to come back and talk about it. if
Or you
wanted to do
can
that.
watch our meetings on in the morning on Zoom.
yeah. Okay, do we have a motion?
I will move to accept the consent calendar on this agenda this evening.
Make a second.
Okay, been moved in second. Lisa, please.
Director Coverdale,
Aye.
Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michelson.
Yes. Okay, moving on to meetings attended, director comments. We have any?
If I may, Mr. Chair, I'll very brief comment regarding our Auckland news. I'm sure staff has gotten it. But California State Water Board adopts a landmark conservation regulation where they're going to be claiming drought for the rest of our lives. But anyway, in urban retail water suppliers in California would be taking effect in 2025. So pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, the governor likes the superpowers that come with a drought declaration. So yeah, that's probably true. We'll be in a drought forever in California.
And I will say,
Sure.
Kathleen will have a presentation
right.
at a later meeting.
What this all means.
The law is still up in the air on terms of the details. So we're waiting for those, so.
Anyone else? Boy, it sounds pretty boring. Okay, I went to OPL the other night and Jack tore it up and his cover band Priest DC. So I got to say it was nice to see one of our field guys owning the stage with the guitar. So yeah, he can rock. So next time they're playing in town, I would urge all the others to go and support one of our great employees. So thank you. So general business, please. Let's see. First item here. We have finished up some major projects. Yeah. I want to hear about that. So what was sick day?
So we're going to schedule
Yeah.
a public hearing for the rate increase.
Oh, yeah, that.
Rate adjustment.
I tell you, this 218 stuff is like, I think we're always in a state of
Forever.
forever. Okay, so Jeffrey, since you're the new finance guy.
Well, I too was at the OPL the other night. I saw Jack for the first time. He was remarkable.
Oh, you were there too?
Yeah, I was there too.
Oh, I didn't see you. Oh,
I
good,
didn't
good.
see you. I would have said hello.
Oh, good.
Yeah, anyway, we're here, with respect to, the work that's been done on the rates, to ask the board, to recommend that the board schedule a meeting. A public hearing on Tuesday, November, 12th, 2024, as a part of the regular meeting, and the focus will be on the rate adjustments that we're proposing. And also, we're asking that the board authorize, the issuance of a notice of public hearing, which forms Exhibit A in the staff report. So we're asking that we schedule the meeting and that we issue the notice of public hearing as documented here. And just very briefly, this staff report really is meant to summarize all the work that's been done to get to this point where we do have proposed rate increases and we do have a financing plan for the Carter Hill tank project. And so this staff report summarizes the work that's been done, and you folks have been a big part of it. The creation of the 5-year financial plan, the cost of service analysis that followed, the rate design, which hasn't changed, but we are proposing 3 years worth of rate increases, both in the water rates and in water shortage rates. And lastly, you received on July 9th, the 2024 water rate study completed by Water Resources Economics. Mary and I worked very closely with them throughout the process. So that's what the staff report is intended to do, provide documentation that is leading us to this point. The calendar of events in the next several months will involve, one, if you approve the notice of public hearing this evening, then we will publish that in mid-September, along with some social media work that we'll do with Kathleen's help to get the word out to our customers. We will mail the notice itself to our customers and also publish it in the Daily Journal and the Half Moon Bay Review. And then ultimately we'll have the public hearing in November. So that's really a high level, obviously, view of the staff report. Exhibit A again is the notice that we would like your approval to publish. And I'll leave it at that and ask for your comments and questions.
Do you have any comments from the board?
I can make my usual pitch that when we send out our notice on this, we have, in the past, we've done a 4-page letter explaining what we're spending the money on, the pictures.
We are working on that.
I just felt obliged to give my pitch, and yes, you've done a great job in the past, and I think they've been really effective. We've seen a drop in comment almost by 2/3 of people questioning what we were doing. And I think it's because we do better communication about what we're doing, but I feel obliged. He said it, he said any comments. So.
Thanks, make a comment.
Yeah, John, you have a comment?
Yeah, and Jeffrey, you could see I did the blues and the pinks and the greens, so very supportive of all the work everyone put in, and there was on that page with the description, there's 20 different comments in there. Excellent done, so people can understand that this just doesn't pop up when we do it. And I think one of the comments that I made, just scribbling, is about we have this staff and board has to continue to provide safe drinking water for everyone in the future. As we know, with the more growth going on, it'll be more challenging times out there for California to be providing water. And then just with the rate we're tentatively looking at, you look at sewer rates on the coast have gone up 13%. They're looking at. So I just wanted to comment, and I got the blue is the water world, and the green is supportive, and the pink gets me nervous.
How do you score the different colors?
Well, as I said, green is very, very popular and supportive, and blue is kind of water related. And the pinks are not very supportive of those things. They hurt us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I look at it. And, but I think it's an excellent, excellent start. And now we just have to bring it to closure properly with the legal staff profession.
Okay, thank you.
I might follow on John's comment, and the process timeline, which is in the staff summary. I think it wraps it all up. It says, tells the story. There have been, up to this point, 16 separate transactions. Meetings and discussions and studies and that have happened starting early on this year and up to this point. I feel very confident and feel very certain that we have really done all we could to make this fair, equitable, and provide the customers with a forward plan that makes sense, is defensible, and that will get the job done going forward for the district. I mean, that's the summary.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion, please. Recommendation.
Motion. Make a motion, we schedule a public hearing for Tuesday, November 12th, 2024 at 7 p.m. during the regular Board of Directors meeting on proposed rate adjustments and authorize the issue of the notice of public hearing for the proposed rate increases effective January 2025, January 19th, 2026, and January 18th, 2027.
I second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Elisa, please.
Director Coverdale,
Aye.
Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michelson.
Yes. Okay, now we need a little money to oversee the pre-stressed concrete tank construction. Mary, please.
Take this. So at the July 9th board meeting, the board awarded the Carter Hill pre-stressed concrete tank project to DN Tanks in the amount of about $11 million. So the next step now is to award a contract for the engineering services during construction. Now the tasks involved with engineering services during construction includes providing contract clarifications and submittal reviews, reviewing potential change orders and serving as the engineering liaison on site visits. And also helping us with what we need to do for the state in terms of updating our operations plan with BDW. So HDR Engineering provided the design engineering for the tank project and is logical party to perform these services for us. HDR provided these services to for the Newlands project, and they did a great job for us, including helping us to keep the change orders to a minimum. So we recommend that we move forward with HDR. I did have John Sutter look at the proposal as well, and he agreed that this was a fair number and a fair proposal.
Any board comments? Otherwise, I'd entertain a.
I'd like to move, we authorize the general manager to enter into a professional services agreement with HDR Engineering Inc. to provide engineering services during the construction for the Carter Hill pre-stressed concrete DN tank and seismic upgrades project for $371,044.
I'll second that. Okay, moved and seconded. Elisa, please.
Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michelson.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Now, finish off the water treatment plant upgrades. We need to do a little paving around the plant. Mary, please.
Yes, so we finished up the project in June and Ranger Pipelines demobilized. So we would like to move forward and get paving done around the plant before the winter. We are looking at areas. There's a diagram that shows where we would pave, which is we're calling phase one. And it's our new road behind up at the furthest end of the plant. We have near the new Sed Basin, and then we have a little staging area that we would like to pave now. There's an area we call phase 2, and DN Tank will be setting up their trailers and phase in that area. So that would be done after we finish the tank project. So we had 7 bidders, and Andrini brought in the lowest bid at 333, 438 and change. And the engineer's estimate was 397. So it's a mid-range. The high bid was 448, 232. So we were so over $100,000 difference. So between the highest and lowest.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate to have 2 local bidders within 5,000 of each other. So that's really, really nice and cost competitive. And did you have a comment?
Yeah, it's a question. The 4-inch ductile iron pipe, is that a drain line?
What we're going to be doing is putting some conduit. We're doing a conduit. We're going to add some lines to hardwire some of the SCADA wiring instead of using strictly radio. I don't have all of the.
Well, I see the 1-inch conduit, which is for the electrical.
Oh, the 4-inch. Oh, the 4-inch.
4-inch ductile iron.
That.
Is it a water pipe or is it a drain pipe, or I just don't know what it is.
I can confirm what that is.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to know that. Is Dustin gonna come in for the meeting tonight?
No.
Darren? Is he
No,
coming?
not tonight.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering too, because
I just don't know what it is.
because it's 4-inch kind of threw me
Yeah.
off. If it was 8-inch or
Ductile
something,
iron,
it would make
that's a water
sense.
It is, but it may be being used as a conduit as well.
Yeah, that was,
What would
yeah.
you put through a
So,
4-inch?
one of the problems is if you know that a wire is gonna come in and out,
Yeah,
you can't refish it through the conduit without pulling everything out and starting all over again. And so if you think you're going to be changing, which in this case, I would anticipate communication or control cable, then you want a conduit you can put wires back and forth without having to pull and rip everything out, which like quadruples the cost of it.
right.
And so the 4-inch for that size makes a lot of sense. And actually using ductile then means you have a 75-year life conduit. And if you were to buy quote unquote metal conduit, like they might use, the first truck that goes over it is squishing.
Or how about like gray PG&E conduit? What's the life
And
of
this
that?
size, same, it has to be buried deeper and better. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're actually
And
doing.
I believe that's the case with this, that we were anxious to get a conduit that we can have our communications on. So
Yeah, so I trust what you're saying. I'm just, it confuses me.
My question is totally different. We have phase 1 in red, phase 1 in beige, and phase 1 in blue. And I was totally bewildered.
Well, talk to John. He's got
Yeah.
the color.
Yeah.
Oh, John's our color master.
We've got an expert.
Okay, well,
Should we back
John, you feel
up?
safe making a motion with these unanswered questions?
Well,
Kevin, you want a motion?
I would go ahead and make the motion, please, authorizing the general manager to enter into a contractual agreement with Andrini Brothers Incorporated for the Nunes Treatment Plant paving project for a total cost of $333,438.88. I so move, and my comment after a second will be very brief.
I'll second this so you can make your comment.
And I'm just very pleased with, as we've talked and shared for years, that we were able to bring together a local contractor to take this at a fair bid. And travel and pollution issues are very supportive of the environment because they're next door. They're not driving over the hill bringing materials.
Can I go into the weeds?
Well, we're halfway there, so keep going.
Why couldn't we enter into a contract instead of contractual agreement?
You can't.
Oh, we could.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's
Okay.
vote quick. This
So
is
it-
getting really bad.
Yeah, yeah. So I did second it, so we are ready for a vote.
Director Coverdale,
Well, is it a contractual? I'm gonna need your clarification.
It's whatever the staff recommendation is, but you could do either. That's why I was answering.
So it's an
Director
either
Reynolds'
or.
question.
I'm aye for the either or.
okay, Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michelson.
Yes. Okay, so I'm, happy that three of my board mates have been reelected because this hydrant replacement project could go into the next decade at least. So we're gonna need to keep moving forward here.
We're looking for a refund
Yeah.
of $400 because they don't have to translate our comments.
Yeah. So, more hydrants, Mary.
Or hydrants. So
Yeah.
annually, we purchase about $140,000 worth of hydrants. So we have gone out and we solicited 3 bids, received 2, and the lowest bid was with Underground Republic for $4,571 per hydrant before taxes. So we're recommending that we purchase 28 cloud 2065 bronze wet barrel hydrants. Just as a note, we're down, we're replacing all the dry barrel hydrants, so we're down to about 230 of those left in the district.
Okay, any questions? We've been doing this forever, so how about
I'll
make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We authorize the general manager to procure 28 cloud 2065 bronze wet barrel hydrants for $139,994 from Underground Republic.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll do a second and a brief comment. And the second for this motion. And I want our ratepayers to understand how valuable it is that we are looking forward and water experts know that it's for the safety of our customer base and community and for the future insurance world of California. So I think we talked earlier about the rate world, but this is very valuable to all of us from Coastside County Water.
Yeah, good point. I wish my insurance had only gone up to 8% like we're proposing. It went up considerably more, so. Hydrants do play a really vital role in keeping our community safe. So thank you for providing that. Okay,
Director Coverdale,
Was there a motion second? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Glenn did the motion, John seconded.
Oh, aye.
Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michelson.
yes. Okay, Mary, again, I do appreciate the diagrams and the pictures. Seeing how these things actually provide a little seismic flex, so that things you can see that.
I can.
Yeah, usually.
Oh, you were gonna give the.
And then you can.
Because I met with.
Yeah, we met with-
This, yes.
Yes. So during a recent valve installation at Crystal Springs Pump Station, Pump Repair Service company staff pointed out to us that there was a lot of wear on these earthquake expansion joints. And on one of the joints, there was a sign of corrosion. So we do not have spares. These are the original joints that were put in when Crystal Springs was built. And so while we our Darren Sturtevant went on a scavenger hunt with Underground Republic trying to find manufacturer who could provide us with these joints. And they only were able to locate one. We think this manufacturer might be the original one, with a name change or whatever. We're not, but I didn't put that in here because we weren't exactly sure, but we suspect. So we have these, what we have is we have these bellows, and we were asking for spares. And Vice President Reynolds was in the conversation, and he has probably more information he can share regarding these things.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. So this was a really cool project. It's really neat. And the purpose is that when we get a seismic bump, the equipment has to move so that you don't tear the pipe apart. And the more common and a fraction of the cost is a rubber device. I draw your attention to the pressure rating in the specs, 400 PSI. I'm here to tell you that you can do this in hose, but it's massive hose that has to have a hole and it has to have an elbow in it, so it can flex. And so it would be, 1,000 times more expensive to switch to the hose. So this is a wonderful solution. It's very cost effective. There is one other seismic joint. It's made overseas and it makes the price of this project. Basically, this is what we would spend on engineering to use the other method. So the staff has done a really good job at finding a great cost-effective unit. And I want you to know that we did suggest that the manufacturer passivate these, which will increase their corrosion resistance or durability in the future. So I would give a hearty endorsement that you're on the right track here.
Yeah, no, thank you. And the pictures speak of that.
Yeah, they're
words.
great.
304 stainless, so I think they'll last a while. Cool, thank you.
I can make a motion.
Please.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion. We waive the district competitive bidding requirements of resolution 2016-09 and authorize the general manager to purchase 4 earthquake expansion joints for the Crystal Spring Pump Station from Underground Republic Waterworks Inc. for $65,800 plus shipping and handling.
A second.
Okay, moved in second. Lisa, please.
Okay, Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michelson.
Yes. Okay, so in anticipation of bond financing, with a little paperwork here, Jeffrey, want to lead us through this?
Sure thing. We're asking that the board approve resolution 2024-05 expressing intent to reimburse project expenditures from tax exempt financing. So effectively, we have a variety, if we go the route of bond financing, which hasn't been confirmed yet, but if we go down this path, we'll have cost of issuance. It consists of several vendors, 2 of whom have already been approved by the board, the financial advisor, Backstrom, the bond counsel, Jones Hall. And if we go down the bond path, there'll also be disclosure agent as well for us. So between those 2, we're talking about 95 grand for the disclosure and bond counsel, another 42 grand for the financial advisor. And then beyond that, again, if we go down the path of issuing bonds, we'll need an underwriter. And Mary and I are reviewing RFP responses for our underwriting services for this purpose. And they range from 36,000 to 62,000. We had 4 responses, so we're still assessing those. But so there's a kind of spend that would be funded through the issuance of bonds beyond the $8 million that we've talked about within the rate discussion. So we would want a net $8 million to help fund the Carter Hill project, but we would issue another 200-ish, don't quote me on that, but it's about that much money to fund these cost of issuances. So the underwriter, the bond counsel, the financial advisor, and we would pay them through the proceeds of the bond. And this particular resolution would simply say the board's intent would be to reimburse such spending from the proceeds of possible financing. And right now, all of those items are contingent spend. If we don't go out and successfully issue bonds, we won't incur, at least we could incur a portion if we go down a different financing path, like the financial advisor will still owe them money if we decide to do a private placement instead of a bond issue. But at the end of the day, if we go down the bond path, this would authorize us to issue additional, or to receive additional funds from the issuance of bonds to fund that.
So, no, thank you for the thorough clarification. Did you, Mary, know we're up?
No, I just have one clarification with this too. It also authorizes us to be able to obtain reimbursement if we start spending money on the tank before the bond financing is.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Well, you said Carter Hill. Do you mean the new tank in Newness?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
the Carter Hill tank, I'm referring to that very tank, the 2.1 million gallon.
Okay. Anyone else? Looks like this one is a resolution. Anyone wanna read that?
I can, I make a motion that we approve resolution 2024-05, a resolution of the board of directors of the Coastside County Water District expressing intent to reimburse project expenditures from tax exempt finance.
It's nice to be second. Yeah, I wish I was. Second.
It could be. It's got to move to the hot.
Have a comment before the vote?
Yeah, I just, I'll be honest with you, this is a little above my payroll. Yeah, it's quite confusing. We'll need some guidance on this one, but we're gonna move forward with the professional advice. And my vote will be for moving forward with it.
Okay.
Why, I mean, it's the advice of our consultant
Yeah.
to do this, to protect ourselves going forward and get back money that we don't have to spend. Or we may have spent that in reimbursement. The way it, right, it just gives us some latitude.
That's right.
Yeah, it may or may not be used.
And we're not taking it lightly. It's,
No, this is.
yeah, I agree with the director.
You know, ask it. Okay. Yeah. No, it's, let's do the vote and then Glenn did have a question. It's not going to impact the vote. Let's do the
Director
vote.
Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michaelson.
Yes. Okay. So I don't know the answer either.
Okay, so I was confused because we're paying, looks like $12,000 in sales tax on the fire hydrants, but we're tax exempt on the bond.
This is from the perspective of the bond purchasers. So it's a tax exempt transaction from their perspective, not from ours. So it's just a more attractive vehicle for purchases of.
So we're offering a bond that's tax exempt
To them.
to them, and so they don't pay tax on the
Tax-free.
profit they make on it. So it's a more favorable thing. And so people line up at the window. to
So put
buy
some money in
bond.
there, no
Yeah.
tax for it.
Okay,
Great
Have we
question,
done one of these
great
before?
comment.
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Yeah,
We've done this in the past, too, right?
Yes.
This is not the first time we've. seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, yeah, right, it's like
It's just part
trying
of
to
the
catch up.
process.
No, it just wasn't clear because it said we were tax exempt and.
We're not.
Yes.
The bond is standard. All the bond is standard.
It's from the perspective of the bond purchasers.
Right.
Okay.
Good idea.
Okay, all these years here, we're still learning. So this is a good thing.
We're very careful about finances.
Okay, and looks like we have to amend our salary schedule and that. Okay, that's yours again.
We had talked about whether to include two temporary positions in our salary schedule when we came to you a couple of months back during the process of approving a budget and approving the related salary schedule. Gina and I had a conversation with CalPERS and learned that we did need to add these roles to our salary schedule that we publish. And by the way, the rates for that we would quote for those 10 positions would be equivalent to the entry level rates for the related positions. So we might hire a temporary maintenance worker. The rate for that worker would be the lowest, well, at least within the range that we quote for a full-time maintenance worker. So we've simply added 2 temporary positions to this salary schedule to accommodate the potential for the maintenance team to add a body, a temporary person, and then perhaps us in the office to add a temporary person as well. So it's really just to comply with requirements that we learned of from CalPERS.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't want to run afoul.
Exactly
with
right.
I didn't
CalPERS.
realize, that, I'm surprised the interim temporary positions they would, but that's their room. I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised.
If
too.
we don't, go with or something, doesn't matter. Just, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
You need a motion?
it sounds like it allows flexibility.
Yes, flexibility.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're asking you folks to approve this amended salary.
Yeah, so we do need.
So we do have.
Yeah, could read mine. I'd like to approve an amended fiscal year 2024-2025 salary schedule effective August 13th, 2024. Because I don't have that. It's a G, right?
No second, it's
Okay, moved and seconded, I might apply for
The
this.
second?
Pretty nice hourly there.
We're gonna test your
You're
skills.
not-
Who seconded it?
I did.
Okay, moved and seconded,
Okay, Director Coverdale, Director Feldman,
Yes.
Director Mueller.
I'm still an I person my whole life on motions, mostly
Okay,
with legal staff.
It's been required by the board that we.
Vice President Reynolds,
Yes.
President Michelson.
yes, wow, we are blowing through this. Should we take a deep breath here and then we can talk about our
Let's go
opportunity.
undercover.
I tell you, at these very fair pay, I hope the job fair went well.
It went well. We had Gina and Emma from our staff spent their Saturday at the job fair, and we received some resumes. So, but it was my understanding. It's great for us to represent careers in water and presence. So
And where
in the
was-
community.
Where was it located?
At the new Opportunity Center, where the chamber is as well, right down the street on Main Street.
The old fire station,
It's just like six.
across from B of A.
600 Yeah, across from B of A.
There you
And
go,
did you
yeah.
take the big truck to show off? 'Cause we're competing with firefighter jobs, right?
Yeah.
We can show we have a prettier truck.
Well,
It's good that we're participating in that.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
yeah, I wonder if that happens actually even as a shop class anymore.
Excellent.
That would be a great place to start too, you know. It's people with hands-on aptitude, and we've, had no shortage of them here within our community. And, this is a great job opportunity for locals, within the community, great team anyhow. So it's a great place to work. And so I just want to thank you for getting that word out. Okay, again, the monthly highlights, we've touched on some, but you can hit the other ones that we haven't talked about.
Yes, so one of the items that we did this month is we had a diver go in and close the lower intake at Crystal Springs Reservoir. It was a proactive move because we have had issues with having water quality issues from the
So
bottom.
how does he access it? From the lake or?
From the lake.
Okay, from the lake.
Yeah.
So it's not like he swims a tunnel.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're, so it was as a preventative measure, we are getting limnology reports from SFPC so we can monitor the water quality. And this is a good thing. And since we want to make sure that we have Crystal Springs ready to go, we're still using Coastside Reservoir as a source, but it's gone down. I think we're at 300 gallons a minute right now. So we're pretty much going to be out of Coastside reservoir water in the next month or so. So we installed new SCADA computers after many years. They're probably 5 years old or so.
Yeah.
And so that was a big deal. Took a little tweaking, but and Jeff led the way with Sean and Darren on that front. We upgraded our security cameras here at the office and at Nunes. We had heard reports of a gang going around the courtyards in the Bay Area. Mid-Penn got hit, Carissima got hit, and so we
Are you looking for metals or tools or?
Everything.
yeah.
Just everything.
At Mid-Penn, they took the service truck and they ran it through the garage door, and then they took it out to I guess they had it stripped, and it was found in Oakland.
Oh, imagine that, Oakland, who would have thought?
And Phyllis Cetus also, same thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but Prisma
Yeah.
Hills had their trucks.
We've got
stolen.
alarms on it, right?
We have alarms, but
There's a
we
scene of the
upgraded
sideshow.
the alarms and the cameras, and so, and it's, so we have some warnings if you jump over the fence, and
Yeah,
So-
it's
That's good.
it's-
crystal
it's-
clear images and
No, we heard
Darren
that.
did a good job with
Well,
that.
that at Equity.
Did we have a third-party vendor to do, or did our guys do it?
Follow up on it. That's
the
good.
alarm,
Okay.
alarm
You
service.
Made that an
So-
action item. That's good.
Yeah, that's an excellent point here recently with the Citizens FBI Academy and InfraGard up at Sonoma State. We had a whole security discussion with the wine industry, but then I brought up the water industry. And they said that's very important for water districts to be aware of what's going on in the west right now. And they appreciated that. I told them that we do have service because of all the fraud and scams going on in the offices too. So it was mentioned at the InfraGard FBI gathering.
Yeah, sadly, we're all affected by this. No, thank you for being proactive. Yeah, and the resolution on today's cameras, you're gonna get a really good image, so that's great.
Other,
Our camera the other morning in our driveway had a huge mountain lion at 6 a.m. visiting us, taking our chickens.
so
Can't shoot the mountain lion though. And I wouldn't.
other projects, we solicited proposals for construction management for tank projects, so you'll be hearing about that next month. Ordered a replacement lockulator for Nunes. We're still working on getting the commissioning of our filters, but we should be hearing shortly on that. We had in June, we drained the old Sed Basin. We had 2 inspections in July. We had a mechanical inspection and a coating inspection. Actually, the old Sed Basin is not in bad shape. It's okay, but there's some work that needs to be done. So we're actually talking to HDR about giving us a proposal for this design work, so we can move forward with some rehab work. But we were basically I had one of the quotes from the report. It says on the mechanical was, overall the system appears to be in surprisingly good shape given its extended lifespan, likely attributed to good operating and maintenance practice and clean influent water. Stainless steel shafting and wear strips in the tank were worthwhile investments many years ago, as they appear to be in great shape still. However, all of the non-metallic materials in the tank, like chain flights and sprockets, have aged well past their service life. So we're working. So, and then the other, we had Bay Area coating consultants come in And basically, it was a pretty good report, but we need to recoat as well. So it's not something that we figure has to be a rush, but to get done, we actually filled the said basin back up over the last couple days. So I haven't heard of any issues. So and we were concerned. We did it very slowly, and we wetted down all of the components and before filling it up and getting it everything wetted down before we start working the.
Great, thank you. I wanted I had an opportunity to inspect the sediment basin because I was really curious. And I want to remind the board that our plant was designed to have 2 sed basins and only 1 was built. So the money you just spent was to give us the redundancy of the second sed basin. The second one that was engineered is a different design. And so it can actually run at a much higher efficiency than the old one was. And I want to remind the board that that's what the reason. And so this is why it's so exciting to be able to get in and inspect the old one. And I agree with Mary. I was really taken aback on how well it's held up. It is definitely worn and it's definitely going to have to be repaired. And the reason it's so critical to have redundancy like we do now is that parts may take several months to fabricate and replace. The coating obviously will take a significant amount of time to clean and repair. And none of that will impact our ability to deliver water to the community because we have a redundant plant. And I think what the whole team should be so proud of is had something broken when we only had 1 sed basin, we would have been truly stressed to make water for the community. It would have been a real challenge for the team. And there's a clause in the law that allows you to do what's called direct filtration, bypassing the sed basin, but it's really burdensome. You have to use a much, much lower filter rate, and the chemistry is really challenging. So I would like to say thank you to the board for bringing us to having a really robust and redundant plant that we're no longer really vulnerable to basically a chain breaking and putting us in a really tough situation. So my thanks to the team.
Well, no, thanks again for your technical clarification. It's always nice for all of us. Yeah, Kim?
On another note, I don't mean to be negative, but I was up recently and I got to see the new sed basin and the construction. And one thing I was extremely disappointed about is when they recoated or they coated or however you say it, there are so many blemishes in the coating. I'm really disappointed to see that. Well, I guess there are spots where the coating wasn't complete enough, so they had to go back and patch that. And I just thought that was disappointing. I mean, we spent a lot of money. I think we had a great contractor. I think we managed it well. I think we had good supervision.
Can I add a little insight to that?
Yeah, please.
So one of the things that's really kind of cool about this industry is when coatings get put on, the coating company isn't allowed to just put it on and walk away. And so almost everything else you would see, they would put the coating on and taillights going down the road. What's done here is it's almost a microscopic examination looking for what would really be equated as normal or routine holidays or pinholes that then the coating contractor is required to redress or redo. And so really what you're seeing is a level of, it's a level of quality control that's an order of magnitude better than would normally be done. And so I'm really grateful that we paid the attention to have that second pass versus what so often happens. I just did a tank inspection where that wasn't done, And the holidays, you have a perfect flat surface like that wall over there, and there's a rust hole in it. And you know exactly what happened. The painting contractor put on the coat. There was no holiday or subsequent inspection. They left, and now it's burned through, and it's going to cost the client a couple $100,000 to fix it.
So you like the measles?
So I apologize for the patchwork look, but what it says to me is that we spent the time to actually go back and quality control this and make sure it's done so that it will last in the future.
Well, why wouldn't you do it before the application of the coating? Because you could certainly see that
Yeah,
prior to coating it. There's no question about it.
yeah,
If you were reading it at that level
yeah,
and you went over the concrete base,
yeah.
you could read that exactly the same without the coating as you read it with the coating. And then the coating can be applied one time right with a uniform and appropriately gorgeous look. So I hear you, but I don't agree with what you're saying. So, I mean, I'm glad about the quality, but I think it could have easily been staged. Yeah, and at that cost, could have been staged in such a way that not only was it correct, but it looked right. Because when you look at it, it's, you know, I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
And it's right. I mean, it's not going to have a leaking problem or a rust.
I mean, the net of it is that it's okay.
Oh, no,
It's
it's
right.
it's
It
not a
just
problem.
doesn't-
It's not
it
a
just doesn't
problem.
look good.
Just
Yeah,
not cosmetically
it's not
pleasing.
It's not
gorgeous.
cosmetically. No, I got nervous. I thought, I got this big checkerboard there. I know what's going on.
Yeah, I noticed it
No,
too.
no, I was
It
lost.
very,
I'm not an
very rough.
expert in.
It's just hyper demanding.
We're okay, right? We're cool. I'm just checking. I got it.
The scientist told you everything's
I
good.
thought that's what I was trying to
I'm
decide.
an aesthetic guy.
No, aesthetics, I got it.
Okay, anything else? We've covered the report. Well, I'm only seeing blank pages now. So that tells me we've had another successful meeting.
No.
For
future board meeting.
Oh, yeah,
Then we have a closed session.
yeah. So we're closing off with this one. Okay.
Okay, so we're on item 9. It's now 7:57 and we're gonna convene into closed session, conference with real property negotiator, 2 closed sessions, conference, the first one, conference with real property negotiators, pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956.8. Property is the acquisition, first property is the acquisition of multiple permanent and temporary easements along Highway 92, Half Moon Bay, California. The APN numbers are listed on the agenda. The agency negotiator, Mary Rogan, general manager. Negotiating parties, Mary Alice Cousin, surviving co-trustee of James and Alice Cousin in the 1990 Family Trust. Under negotiation, price and terms of payment. The second property is the acquisition of multiple permanent and temporary easements along Highway 92, Half Moon Bay, California. APN is listed on the agenda. Agency negotiator, Mary Rogan, general manager. Negotiating parties, James Salvador Cozzolino, a married man, has his sole and separate property, and Linda Jean Cozzolino, a single woman, tenants in common under negotiation, price and terms of payment. And now we can convene into closed session.
Recording stopped.
So you moved it?